Payroll isn't guaranteed. The number one reason electrical contractors get blindsided by payroll isn't lack of work, it's assuming revenue equals safety. When jobs are booked and trucks are rolling, it feels like everything's fine until Friday hits and suddenly you're staring at your bank balance wondering where all the money is. Busy doesn't mean safe, and revenue doesn't always equal cash, and therefore revenue doesn't mean payroll is covered. My name is Ryan Berry with RAMM CFO. I work with electrical contractors doing roughly $500,000 to $5 million in annual revenue, and almost every one of them has told me the same version of this at some point. We're profitable. Payroll shouldn't be a problem, and yet payroll stress keeps showing up anyway. Let me give you a real-world example. This happens all the time. I worked with an electrical contractor who was booked out for months. Crews were busy, revenue looked great on paper, and from the outside, this was a successful business. But every other Thursday, the owner had this pit in his stomach. Why? Because his cash was tied up everywhere else. Materials that were bought weeks before the client was invoiced. Progress billing lagging behind labor. Customers paying invoices way too slow, right? Like 45 days, sometimes 60 days, even 90 days. And payroll was hitting every single Friday without fail. One week, the payroll cleared by a few $100s. The next week, he was floating it on his line of credit. And the worst part, he thought this meant he was doing something wrong, when in reality, he was doing what most contractors do, running the business based on revenue instead of cash timing. And that's when it clicked for him. And this is the part I really want you to hear. Payroll isn't about how much revenue you make, right? How much you invoice to clients. It's about when the money actually lands in your account. So here's the framework I walk electrical contractors through to make payroll boring in a good way. Step one is you separate sales from spendable cash. Just because you invoiced $100,000 this month, that doesn't mean you can spend $100,000 this month. Payroll only cares about cleared cash, not booked revenue. If you don't know how much of your bank balance is already spoken for, then payroll will always feel unpredictable. Step two, know your true weekly payroll number, not monthly, not roughly, weekly down to the dollar. That includes wages, payroll taxes, benefits, anything that automatically hits after payroll runs. Most owners underestimate this number, and that's where surprises come from. Step three, create a payroll buffer that never gets touched. And this is a big one. Payroll should be funded before it's due, not the day of. I typically recommend contractors build a minimum of one full payroll cycle in reserve, not for emergencies, not for materials, not for I'll put it back later. That buffer exists for one reason only, and that's to make Thursday night feel normal again. Step four, forecast cash weekly, not monthly. Monthly P&Ls won't warn you about a payroll problem until it's already there. A simple weekly cash forecast, even just 4 to 6 weeks out, will show you when payroll hits, when receivables land, and when gaps are coming before they can hurt you. That's the difference between reacting and running the business. When contractors do this consistently, payroll stops being emotional and starts being automatic. So if payroll stress ever sneaks up on you, download my Payroll Friday checklist below. And in the next video, I'll show you what it actually feels like to sleep on Thursday night knowing payroll is already handled, without scrambling, without stress, and without surprises.